Okay, I hope you read the Tennyson selection. I hope you read Ulysses. Dates from, I think, 1842. I'm going to shift over to Browning, but starting first with areas in which he and Tennyson can be discussed in the same breath. The Victorian age came up with a new form in poetry, a whole new approach that's called the dramatic monologue. What is a dramatic monologue? Imagine a play. Okay, you've read the whole play, and now you have an assignment. Take that play and everything important in that play, the important events and most important, the theme, get it into one speech by one character. Also, have that speech reveal more about the character than the character knows he or she is revealing. What is the appeal of this form, the dramatic monologue, which Browning perfected and Browning actually gave the name to, but which Tennyson also wrote two masterpieces in? Ulysses is one of them. The other is called Tithonus, which I didn't give you. What's the appeal of it? If you're a Victorian, you don't really know who you are. If you are a Victorian, you are a split person. Your society is saying you have to be a certain way sexually, you have to be a certain way morally, you have to be a certain way in terms of striving and ambition and masculinity or femininity, whatever. It is also saying you have to believe certain things, otherwise you're not good. And the problem is you're not really that way and you don't really believe those things. Or you're trying to, but you can't the way the church is telling you to. You are a split person. Your being, your mind is inherently troubled. And the more firm and resolute and manly and courageous and whatever you try to be, or the more feminine and receptive and obedient you try to be, the less it works. So, if you're a poet, what do? You don't say I. Or if you do say I, you say it dramatically. You make that I someone else. You start wearing masks. And in that word, masks, I have given you a central image of what we inherit from the Victorians. I'll come back to that.
So
if you read...
It's pre-Freud, so good.
Oh, yes, but remember what Freud comes out of, who he's dealing with.
Yeah, okay.
If you read Ulysses, to strive, to seek, whatever, to find and not to yield. Oh, it's so heroic. It's so upbeat. What is he asking them to do? Get in the boat with me and we'll sail off and die.
Yeah.
All right? This is my son, my own Telemachus. He's good, he's noble, he's helpful, he'll be a good king. He has his work, I mine. I'm not happy. I came back to Ithaca. I'm not happy. I don't want to die here. I want to die in motion. I want to find out things. That's all I care about. Is it upbeat? The Victorians read it as upbeat because they have to. Are you following what I'm saying? They have to. It's also noble.
He's assuming that character. He's the character.
Yes.
So it's
exactly.
dramatic. He could perform it, which
Yes.
you will do, no doubt.
I don't have time to read it. I have to switch to Browning.
It's a dramatic.
But actually, very indulgently, I want to read one other very favorite passage of Tennyson's. One of his very great poems is called Maud, a monodrama. Maud. And its speaker is an alienated, unhappy, melancholic young man. In the course of the poem, he has a mental breakdown. He's in an institution briefly. And the verse in that passage, which I won't read to you, has many similarities to the revolutionary poem of T.S. Eliot called Prufrock,
Wasn't so hard to read.
and also to sections of The Wasteland. Eliot, the quintessential modern. Read Maud. Oh me, why have they not buried me deep enough, I who was ever a troubled sleeper? Maybe still I am but half dead, and then I can cry to the steps above my head to bury me deeper, ever so little deeper. But he snaps out of it at the end of Maud. And what reestablishes his personality is mental health. He goes off to war. Specifically the Crimean War of 1853-1854. And there are foreshadowings of it throughout the poem. And Tennyson, I said he wasn't a profound thinker, and I said that he was very much a patriot. And he gets himself into the state of mind, it's not difficult for him, where he accepts with enthusiasm the idea that war unifies and war makes us one people and gives us a shared purpose, and you know the sort of thing I'm talking about. It's still with us. And here is the greatest Victorian poet going for that and convincing you. It's really quite stirring. But I want to read in terms of awareness of a fundamentally conservative mind, awareness of class problems. I hate the beginning of Maud. I hate the dreadful hollow behind the little wood. Its lips in the field above are dabbled with blood-red heath. The red-ribbed ledges drip with silent horror of blood, and echo there, whatever is asked her answers death. For there in the ghastly pit long since a body was found. It's his father. Did he fling himself down? Who knows, for a vast speculation had failed. And ever he muttered and maddened, and ever wanned with despair. And out he walked when the wind like a broken worldling wailed, and the flying gold of the ruined woodlands drove through the air. Whoa. The wind, the dead leaves, flying gold. He was ruined. Nature, autumn, and the surrounding economic, political corruption made into one fused metaphor. Later in this introductory section, is describing his society, peace sitting under her olive and slurring the days gone by, where the poor hovelled and hustled together each sex like swine. When only the ledger lives, and when only not all men die. Peace in her vineyard, yes, but a company forges the wine. And the vitriol madness flushes up in the ruffian's head, till the filthy by-lane rings to the yell of the trampled wife. and chalk and alum and plaster are sold to the poor for bread, and the spirit of murder works in the very means of life. Those are favorites of mine. Browning.